When you're looking for information online, sometimes it can be difficult to determine whether the sources you are looking at are reliable and trustworthy or not. Rather than taking everything at face value, it is important to critically evaluate the content you find on the internet. To help us think through steps we might take in evaluating web sources, we use the acronym SIFT to help us remember how to sift our sources to find the good ones. This video addresses the third step of that process. For I, investigate the source. When you're looking at sources online, it's helpful to have a list of criteria to check as you think through reliability. First, see if there is a date on the web page of when it was written or last updated, to know if the information is still current. Check if there is an author listed, and if so, see what you can find out about them, either on the website or through a Google search. What is their education or experience? What makes them an authority figure on this topic? Next, look for the publisher or host of the website. What do you know about this agency or publication, how trustworthy they are, and what their editorial process is? Some websites will list helpful information in an About section. The domain of the website or the ending of the URL or web address also tells you a lot. Government websites ending in .gov and academic websites ending in .edu are generally pretty good sources. Take .org websites coming from organizations like advocacy groups, foundations, or research institutes, and .com websites, which are often commercial on more of a case-by-case basis. Finally, see if a website lists sources for the information it shares, so you know there is more than opinions serving as evidence for the claims it makes. Sometimes we want to know more about a source and the claims it makes than we can tell by looking at the source itself. In this case, there are a lot of tools that can help with our investigation of online content. First, we may need to do more background research to figure out what the basic facts are surrounding an issue. Though it has its weaknesses, Wikipedia can actually be a great place to start for this. Wikipedia is not a source you should cite in your papers, and it's probably not the last word on a subject, but it tends to be more reliable than many give it credit for on things like names, dates, and major topics of interest, so it can be a good place to start. For evaluating topics more in news, popular culture, or the public sphere, fact-checking websites can be useful. The first one shown here is PolitiFact, which goes through claims made in the news or by public figures and investigates their truth or falsehood. Snopes does something very similar, again employing teams who go through and evaluate claims in pop culture or rumors on social media. Google also has a built-in fact-checking tool where you can search for a particular topic, and it will pull from fact-checking resources around the internet. Finally, remembering that one of our evaluative criteria for web sources is their publisher, we want to think about publisher bias. Especially thinking about news sources, publications vary in the perspectives they write from and how reliable they tend to be, based on things like editing and vetting of sources. There are tools called media bias charts that can help us think objectively about the viewpoints and reliability of news sources. The one shown here comes from Ad Fontes Media, which has teams of people from across the political spectrum rate articles according to their reliability and political lean, allowing publications to be charted out based on their aggregate scores. This again just helps with transparency in understanding where the sources we are reading are coming from. If you have questions about evaluating sources online, Auburn Libraries are here to help. Our web address is lib.auburn.edu. You can get help via chat, phone, email, or in person at the second floor help desk in RBD. We hope to see you soon.